Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back. I'm Jeannie and I haven't done a Charm Box unboxing in a while, but I loved the May 2025 box that I had to pick it up because I loved the theme, the Y2K dreams aesthetic. But I'll be honest, I'm probably a little bit too old to even understand the Y2K aesthetic, but I thought this box looked super fun, so I had to pick it up and of course I wanted to share it with you all. So let's go ahead and dive into what's in this box. As you can see, I haven't opened it yet, so I figured we could do it together. But I have seen a couple of YouTube videos with some unboxings, but of course, it's always more fun when you get to unbox it yourself. I always appreciate that each box comes with this card. So on the front side is nail inspo. So this is designs you can do with the contents of this box. And on the back side is a full list of everything that's included in the box, as well as the description. So if you want to read that a little bit more in depth, feel free to take a screenshot. But let's go ahead and get into the most exciting part. So each box is always so well packed. On the top is a bunch of this crinkle paper to protect everything inside. I'm not a huge fan of the crinkle paper because it's messy. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove it all and put it in the trash. And then at the top of the box, we have this pack of Twinkle Twinkle gems. Each charm box always has a pack of Twinkle Twinkle gems. They're always different. This one is fun because they have AB crystals as well as pink crystals. There's all different sizes of circles, as well as there are some stars and some butterflies. So I like that it has different shapes in there as well. And these packs are always so huge. Like I probably can't get through this in a whole lifetime, but I love knowing that I have them if I want to use them. So I will end up using some of these in the set. And then there's some stickers as well. So this first pack here are some Angel Fire Flutter nail stickers. So these are like abstract hollow silver stickers. Some of them have like gems in them. I just want to take them out of the plastic because I know there's that glare from my lighting so you can see them a little bit better. But these are super fun and I'm not sure how to describe them. I'm kind of reading what's on the card, but I just think they're really unique looking and I love that some of them have those little gems in them. The second pack is the Y2K Forever stickers. So these are smaller Y2K icons. Some of them have like little sayings on them. And this really gets me because in the description it says for that perfect pop of retro cool. And to me, like 2000s Y2K, that doesn't seem retro. Like maybe I'm just feeling super old. I know it's 2025, so 2000 was 25 years ago, but still, I don't know if I'd consider 2000 retro. But regardless, we're going to go ahead and move on. So the last pack of stickers, these are the Jelly Crush nail stickers. These are really cute because they're little jelly blobs and they kind of feel jelly-ish, but they've got like really fun designs on them. So I love the Daily Charm stickers. Next is the Pink Saturn Orb Zircon Charm. So this comes in a pack of 2 charms, and these are so beautiful. So they've got that light pink crystal in the middle, and then the rest is silver where it's got that ring for Saturn. I don't use charms a lot, but I love having them as an option. And for someone that doesn't use charms often, I have way too many and I need to organize them. So let me know down below in the comments if you want to see like an organization video of all my charms. I need to do it anyway, so that may push me to do it. But regardless of that, let's go ahead and move on. So this is the Smiley Vibes Resin Decor Mix, and it comes in 3 different colors. So they're little half circles, and they've got little happy faces on them. Just look at how cute those smiley faces are. But I think this bright pink one is my favorite because it has that little tongue sticking out. Hopefully you can see it, but I think you can't look at these without smiling just because they are so cute. But now we're moving on. This is the Glitz Frame Mix. So this is gold and silver studded metallic frames, and they're in all different shapes. So we've got heart, stars, and bow shapes. So I think it's really fun. I like that they're thinner and smaller because even if I do use like embellishments on my nails, generally I like to use smaller ones just because I don't do like super long nail sets or anything too crazy. So I like these because they're very subtle and I think they'll be easy to bend to the curve of your nail. So you just need like a little bendy tool or like wrap it around like a pencil or something just to give it a little bit of bend. And the last pack of charms is the Cosmic Cloud Resin Mix. So this is a mixture of pastel resin charms. So they've got little clouds, stars, moons. I just think it's a really cute mixture. They are a little bit larger than I typically use, but they're not so large that I wouldn't use them. And I believe these say limited. So these would be only in the box. They're not available on the website. If there are any of these May boxes still available, I'll link it down below in the description if you want to check out this box. These are reusable gel removal clips, and I think these are really handy to have. I much prefer using these than soaking my whole hand in a bowl of acetone while I remove whatever mani I have. And then this is one of the bonus items that came in the box. Each charm box always has like a couple of bonus items. So this is little star hair clips. They are really tiny. They probably hold like a couple strands of my hair, but they're so cute. So maybe it's just meant to be like decorative of like put your hair up in a ponytail and add a couple of clips. But I love that they're on theme. So those are super cute. And then next we have the silver metallic chain box. So this is a set of 6 silver chains. So I love that they're all different. I love the look of chains on nail sets. I've never been brave enough to try it, but anytime someone uses like chains in their set, I always love the way it looks. And I like that these are all different types of chains. So, depending on the look you're going for, there's like all different types of designs. So, I'm just showing you a few right here. This one is like a chunkier one if you want like a chunkier look to your set. And this one is probably my favorite of the set. It's just so unique. So you see a little bit of chain and then it's got that little design in the middle of it. So it's kind of a repeating pattern of that. So I will end up using one of the chains in today's set just to try it out. And the last set of charms, this is the Pearly Pixie Decor Box. This is a mixture of star and heart designs. These are super cute. I love like the little outlines of the stars and hearts with those pearls. And they're like all different shades of pinks and purples. I just think they're really beautiful and I think they'll be really fun to use for sets. And it looks like this one is also limited to this box. I don't know if it's in my head, but I feel like this box has a lot more exclusives than normal, but maybe I just don't pay attention to the exclusives. But this next item is not exclusive and is available on the website. This is a rhinestone picker, and unlike anything I've seen before, so most of my rhinestone pickers are dual-ended dotting tool or precision tool, but this one is actually like just the one end and you twist to pull up some of that wax. And then as you use up that wax, you twist to get a little bit more. So it's really unique. I'll just have to check if you can refill that wax once you're done or if you have to buy a whole new pen. We've also got a couple of fun glitter mixes. So there's the Dream Pop glitter mix as well as the Mini Stars glitter mix. So the Dream Pop glitter mix, this is a mixture of pastel and iridescent glitters with all different types of stars in there. And then the Mini Stars glitter mix are the tiniest hollow stars in rainbow colors. I just think it's so beautiful. And these are loose glitter mixes, so they're not mixed with any type of acrylic powder or anything like that. So you can add them to your gel or mix them with powder if you want to use them. And then this is another bonus item. So this is the Pop Heart Bag Charm. So this is super cute. I'm not sure if there are any other colors, but if there were, I'm super glad I have purple. And if they weren't, I'm glad it's purple either way. I think it's a super cute charm. And then there's a box of these foils as well. So these are the Leopard Luxe foil box. So there's hollow pinks, leopard prints, and stars. So there's 6 different designs in this box. I actually wanted to use some of these foils in today's nail set, but I could not find my foil gel anywhere, so I guess I'll have to save it for another set. But anyway, finishing off this box, we have 2 new gels. It looks like these are both only exclusive to the box, so I'm definitely glad I have this box. So this is E21 Juicy Drops. So this is a holographic pink cat eye gel. I feel like no one does cat eyes as well as Daily Charm. They're my favorite gels to get from Daily Charm, and they have the largest variety that I've seen. I never have any issues with them. So really quickly, I just want to show you that cat eye on the brush so you can see those magnetic particles moving around just that quickly and that easily. And it has the really fine particles, which makes it really great for that velvetized look when you're doing cat eye gels. But the last gel we have, this is Charm Gel G11 Y2K Glitterati, and probably the main reason why I bought this box. So this is a clear base gel, but it has glitter pieces in it. So it's a mixture of like iridescent stars and star frames and hex glitters. I just think it's such a fun glitter mixture in that clear base that you can put it on top of any base color and just make it pop with like all those glitters. Just look at how jam packed this is and so fun. But I know that was a lot. That's it. That was all that came in the box. You get a whole lot for your money. So let's go ahead, jump into the nail set. I'm doing a set of press-ons for today's video, and you know I like to start my press-ons with a layer of gel base first. So I have my Daily Charm rubber base gel. I'm just going to apply a thin, even layer of this to all the nails. And then once I've got the rubber base gel on, because it is a little bit thicker, I like to cure it for 60 seconds before I move on. And the reason why I start with base gel first is because I feel like it helps the gel polish apply more smoother and more even. And it also helps my gel polish color adhere to the tips better. But of course, like I always like to say, it's completely optional. It's just my personal preference to do. You can skip the base gel, but you want to make sure that you're at least buffing off the shine of the tips so that your gel polish will adhere to the tips. After my base gel is cured, I'm going to start with my gel polish colors, starting with Juicy Drop, which is the cat eye that came in the box. When you're working with cat eye gels, you want to do one layer at a time, one nail at a time. So starting with my index finger, I'm applying a thin, even layer of that cat eye polish to the entire nail. Once I have that covered, I'm not going to cure it. I'm going to leave the gel wet, and then I'm taking my magnet and I want it velvetized. So I'm moving the magnet parallel to the nail as close as possible without touching that wet gel. And I'm moving it around the perimeter of my nail to bring those magnetic particles to the surface. So I want to bring them to the surface around the center of my nail to kind of make that velvet look. So I'm going to keep moving it around until I'm happy with that. And then once you're happy with that design, pop it in your lamp to freeze it in place. 10 to 15 seconds is all you need. And the reason you do that is because if you don't freeze it in place, eventually those magnetic particles are going to begin to dissipate the longer it sits. So that's why I say do one nail at a time rather than doing like all your nails of cat eye polish, magnetizing them and curing them all at the same time. Because as like the first nail you did sits, the magnetic particles will begin to dissipate as you're doing the other nails. So one nail at a time, flash cure it, but I'm trying to save time. So as I'm flash curing the nail, I'm just moving on to the next nail. And then once that's done, I'm going to pop that into the lamp. So that way, like by the time I'm done with all three nails, they can be fully cured. And then I can move on to my second layer. This polish is a little bit sheerer in one layer, but as you magnetize it and velvetize it, it kind of brings like a little bit of opacity to it, having that silver on top. But I will build that up with the second layer just for a little bit more coverage. And the other thing I'll mention is I know some people only like to magnetize their top layer so they don't bother with any layers underneath that. But I don't know. For me, I prefer to magnetize all my layers of gel polish because I feel like that makes the magnetized look pop a little bit more. But it's really a matter of personal preference. So you can totally just paint on that first layer of gel polish and cure it without magnetizing it. And then for your final layer, magnetizing that, and you still get a really good look to it. While my last two nails are curing the rest of the way, I've got my index finger back out and I'm doing layer number two. After I'm done with my 2 layers of Juicy Drop, I'm gonna work on my thumb and ring finger because I like to have all my base colors done on all my fingers before I move on to the nail art. So for my thumb and ring, I decided to use Maleficent, and this is a black gel polish base with a silver reflective flash twinkle glitter, and it looks like just a regular beautiful glitter, but once you put a flash to it in, like, low lighting, that's when you really see the reflectiveness of the glitter. It really pops. If you haven't seen reflective glitters before, they are just so unique and so beautiful. And I know you can't see it here in the video, but for me, like when I was filming it, when I was doing this, because of the lighting that I was using, I could see the reflectiveness of it and it was just like twinkling. It was just so beautiful and so mesmerizing. And to be honest, when I was going into my drawer to get a gel polish color to use for these nails, I was gonna do a solid black, but then when I ran across Maleficent, I knew I had to use it just because I've been dying for an excuse to use it anyway. So I did my first layer, I cured that for 60 seconds. So now I'm gonna go in with the second layer because it wasn't fully opaque in that one layer. And the reason why I wanted to use a black is because I really wanted to see how glitterati, which is that chunky glitter on that clear base mixture, that other gel polish that came in the box, I really wanted to see how that looked against a dark base color. And I thought a little extra glitter wouldn't hurt because I feel like you can never have enough glitter. And I will pop a picture of how this glitter looks like with a flash at the end if you want to see that. I don't know if pink and black are a color combination for like that Y2K aesthetic, but I always like them together. I feel like it gives that like little bit of edginess to pink. So whatever it is, I'm going with it. After I cured the nails for a full 60 seconds, I'm ready to get into the nail art. And I really wanted to try to go outside of the box with this nail set because I've never done anything Y2K or Y2K like I don't even know if this is a Y2K set. But I decided to finally suck up my fears and try out these chains. But because I've never used chains before, I've always been intimidated by them. I didn't know what to use, where to start, what design to do. So I'm kind of testing things out. So I'm testing out a couple of the chains, laying them across the nail, trying to figure out like what kind of design I would use with them, what would look good. So the gel polish, it cures with a tacky inhibition layer. I haven't wiped that off, so that's kind of what the chain's sticking to, and that's why it's not sliding right off the nail as I'm kind of testing out designs. But I don't know. I thought at first maybe I would do one of the chains, I'm not sure which chain, but one of the chains across the nail in kind of like a scalloped type design, or maybe I should have done like a border around the entire nail with one of the chains, but then I thought the chains might be too chunky for that. So it was really just trial and error trying to figure out what I should do, but in the end, what really called to me was like this double chain just because I thought it was so cool looking because it's the two smaller chains that are attached to each other. So I probably chickened out a little bit, but it's still using a chain, so I need credit for something. But I decided I would use this double chain and just kind of do like a diagonal line across the nail, across the middle, and then I'll do some gems around that, but that's kind of where I landed because it was using chains, but it wasn't something too crazy. So I'm just taking an older pair of cuticle nippers and I'm just cutting that chain at the end of my nail. Make sure the nippers you use are not ones that you use to cut your cuticles. Even though I recommend that you don't cut your cuticles at all, if you do, you want a dedicated pair and you don't want to use that pair to cut chains and rhinestones and things like that because they will dull and you definitely don't want to be using dull instruments to cut your cuticles. To adhere the chain to my nail, I'm just running it through my Make End Parts gel. I get this off of Zillaview. It's a really great jewelry gel, and I love the consistency of it because it's different than like a regular, really thick top gel or jewelry gel. It's more of like a thick Vaseline like consistency, which I haven't seen before, and it has really good grip. So I just ran the chain through there, applied the chain where I wanted it on the nail, and before I cure the nail, I also want to add some twinkle twinkle gems just to make the nail pop a little bit more. So I just poured a little bit out in my Chaos Gem Roll to make it easier to find the gems. And then I've got this little star gem that I'm just running through the Make in Parts gel, and I'm just placing it at the other corner at the cuticle area of the nail. I did get a little bit of gel on the top side of it, which I didn't want to cure on because that would make it look dull. So I just gave it a little bit of a quick wipe. And to make it a little bit easier, I decided instead of running each gem through the gel, I'm just going to take an older brush, one that I don't care about as much, and I'm going to pick up some of that parts gel and apply it to that upper corner of the nail. And that way, wherever I place the gem, it will just stay on rather than having to individually place each gem into the gel and then onto the nail. It just made it a little bit quicker. And now that I don't have to place each gem into the gel, I'm going to use this new rhinestone picker that came in the box to pick up each rhinestone. I was trying to look up on the website to see if it was refillable, but I can't find this pen at all on the website, so I don't know if it's just sold out because it does say on this card that it's new starting June 15th, so it should be there. So I'm just going to assume it's sold out. And then if anyone knows whether there are the wax refills available or not, please let me know. For my index finger, I wanted to apply a layer of glitterati on top of Juicy Drop to see how those two colors paired together. And even though they're not a stark contrast, I really love how softly they paired together. And glitterati, even though it does have chunky glitters in there, it was really easy to work with. So I'm just moving around those chunky glitter pieces so I have like an even disbursement of the glitter around the nail, and it's self-leveling as I'm doing that, so I don't have to worry about the glitter layer being uneven, and it really gave me, like, Barbie Dream Glow vibes. That was my favorite Barbie growing up. I wish I could find her again, and I wanted to pop a picture of her in here, but I don't wanna violate any copyright laws, so look her up on Google if you're not sure, but she was my absolute favorite. I wanted to add one additional element to the nail, so I decided to use the Cosmic Cloud resin mix. So this is the little crescent moon with the star. I thought it paired really nicely with the design of this nail, but it was a little bit too large for the nail and it is flat, so it doesn't fit to the curve of the nail. So in order to fill that curve, so I'm not snagging on everything, the Make in Parts gel, it actually comes with a cover gel, so it's a set, so the cover gel is meant to fill in any of those gaps so that you're not snagging your hair and your clothes or whatever else you come in contact with. So I'm just using that, and anywhere where there's a gap between the charm and the nail, I'm filling that in using that gel. So anytime you're using charms and they're not flat to the nail, if they're not flush, you want to make sure you're filling in that gap. Unless you're not worried about snagging things, but if you're going to wear them for any amount of time, I definitely do recommend you fill in that gap. Whether, if you're not using the Make in Parts gel, you can just use a regular jewelry gel to fill in that gap as well. But you do probably need something thicker so that it's going to stay in that before you cure it. And this is actually a no wipe gel, so after you cure it, you don't have to top coat it because it's not going to cure with a tacky layer. So if I were doing my normal gem application process, typically what I would do is I would go in with the jewelry gel, I would have a big glob of that and apply it to my entire nail, and that way I didn't have to worry about like where I was placing my gems. I would leave that uncured. I would apply my gel top coat on top of that, all uncured. I would place my gems, and then once I have the gems where I want them, I would cure it for a full 60 seconds. And then once I cured it, the nail is done. I don't have to worry about top coating around the gem. So that was a good use of this no wipe fill in gel because I wouldn't have to top coat it again. For the rest of my nails, I'm going to use some of the stickers that came in the box, and the stickers adhere best to clean, dry nails. So I'm just taking some isopropyl alcohol and a lint-free wipe, and I'm just wiping off that tacky inhibition layer of the nails, letting that dry before I apply the stickers. So I'm just going to let you watch the rest of this process because I feel like I've been talking a lot. After I'm finished decorating all my nails, I need to seal it all in with a top coat, so I will be using my Diamond Shine Hema-Free formula from Daily Charm, and I'm going to apply a nice thick layer of this to all the nails because I have a lot of different elements on it. And I'm actually going to top coat everything except the rhinestones. So even the chains and the resin charms, I will top coat because I don't want them to tarnish or any of the paint chip off. But for the rhinestones, you never want to top coat them because that will dull the shine of the rhinestones. So I will try to go a little bit around them. And this is exactly why in my normal application process, I like to top coat before I apply the gems. And that way I don't have to worry about top coating around them. But I just forgot because I was using a different charm gel than I normally use because this is my only my second time using the Make in Parts gel. I know this is a little repetitive, so I'm going to go ahead and top coat the rest of my nails off camera and give them a full cure for 60 seconds. I also go ahead and apply my press-ons off camera. So now the only thing to do to finish off this nail set is to rehydrate my cuticles. So I have Lucky from Scales of a Mermaid. This is another one of my favorite scents from them. It's got notes of plum with a little bit of vanilla and soft amber. So it's just a very nice, subtle, warm scent that I love using year round. And of course, I love how hydrating it is. I do have an affiliate code with Scales of a Mermaid. So if you do any shopping, feel free to use code Genie10 to save 10% off your orders. So that pretty much wraps up today's nail set. I don't know if it's Y2K because I don't really know what Y2K is. So you'll have to let me know. But either way, it's definitely outside of my comfort zone, but I do love the way it turned out. I just think it's super fun. So I hope this video was helpful and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this, and it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.